India and Europe, two different civilizations whose connection of history very old and deep is. Thousands years from, these both regions have each other on their impact left is. Old trade routes from to colonial era and now modern partnerships till this relationship very complex has been is. These regions of between today of dynamics to understand of for, this historical tapestry understanding very important is. This essay, India and Europe of historical ties explores does is, and time of with their changes to trace does is. Age of exploration from before, India and Europe, ancient trade routes of through connected were the India, its spices, textiles and precious stones of for famous was and is network in each important player became went. Europe in pepper, cinnamon and cloves, like spices of very demand was. Indian merchants, this valuable things, Europe of markets in, took go thee. This trade, from economic prosperity, came and cultural exchange to promotion got, where religious ideas, artistic motifs, and scientific knowledge, merchants of with travel do thee. Portuguese of arrival from 15th century of end in each big changes came. 1498 in, Vasco da Gama of voyage have India of, for each direct sea route opened, which traditional land routes bypass were went. Portuguese have India in their foothold established did, beginning in trade on focus doing, but slowly territorial ambitions develop do were. They Goa, Cochin and Diu, like important ports on control did take, and trading posts and fortresses established did. Portuguese of arrival from India in European presence of each new era started happened, which maritime power and mercantilist ambitions from characterized was. Section 4. East India Company, Trade, Conquest and Colonial Rule. Portuguese of after, Dutch, French and British like and b. European powers have India in their presence established to two of tried of. British East India Company, which 1600 in establish happened was. 18th century in each dominant force became Gai. Beginning in trade on focus to two doing East India Company have slowly its military strength of use doing their power increased. 1757, in Plassey of battle, each turning point was, which Bengal in British supremacy establish happened. East India Company of rule, have India to each colonial possession in changed gave, where, after resources of exploitation happened and British laws and institutions imposed did went. Section 5. Cultural exchange, ideas and traditions of fusion. Colonialism of exploitative nature of despite, British rule of era in significant cultural exchange PC to got. Indian languages, philosophies, and literature have European intellectuals to attract to do started did gave. Sanskrit of study and ancient Indian texts of translations have Europe in Eastern thought to understand of new ways opened. Other side, Western education have Indians to Enlightenment ideals, scientific advancements, and democratic principles from familiar made. This cultural exchange have Indian nationalist movement and self-rule of demands to shape to two in important role played. Section 6. Independence and after. Engagement of new era. 1947 in India. Of independence have Europe of with after relationship in each new chapter started did. Colonial rule from Azad becoming. India have nation building of path adopted. While European powers, its imperial past of legacy from grappled did doing the colonialism of wounds of despite. India and Europe have equality and mutual respect of principles on its relationship to rebuild to two of tried of. Economic ties strong were, and both regions of between trade and investment increased. Post-colonial era in India and Europe of between relationships significantly changed is, in which cooperation and dialogue increasing going has been is. Section 7. Conclusion. globalized world in Mazboot Hotirishti. India and Europe of historical ties, very old and complex are, in which collaboration and conflict, both of era came are. Like India and Europe each other with increasingly globalized world in interact did doing are. Their shared past mutually beneficial partnerships to foster to two of the valuable lessons gives is.